This is a show with no particular niche, baby. It's always about hanging out. Maybe we'll laugh at some stuff, maybe we'll learn something new, but it's always about hanging out, me and you. Hi, hello, and welcome to That Thing with James. I'm your host, James, and this is a podcast about nothing in particular. But today, we do have a particular topic. It is one of my favorite things, insults. And history. Yes, old insults that have fallen out of favor of the masses, lashings that rarely loll off the lingua. That one needed some work. I didn't think that went through. Old-timey insults, that's what we're going to talk about today. I've got some lined up. It's going to be fun, and you're going to find whole new ways to talk crap. To talk cad to the gibbery jabs in your life. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Wow, that one was so good. Wow, man. What am I doing? What am I doing here? We're having fun. That's what I'm doing. And before we get into it, quick business. I have a Patreon. Yes, patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. Become a patron today and get access to over 120 bonus episodes. Yes, and to those of you who are already patrons, thank you so much. You rock. I've got a whole bunch of bonus episodes, and dare I say, often it seems these free episodes are merely the warm-up for the bonus episodes, which you can access at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. Become a patron today. You can find the link written in this episode's description right above the show email, which I never check. Sorry if you've emailed me. I got in a habit of never checking it, and then I get anxious about, when I see the login, I get anxious and I don't log into it. So if you've sent me an email or something, comment on my subreddit, which is also, the link to that is listed in the episode description, r/ThatThingWithJames, if I remember correctly. Comment there or comment on the video. This is on YouTube, audio only listeners. In case you didn't know, you could see my juicy lips flapping as I say these words on my YouTube channel. At YouTube, just search That Thing with James, and then my channel will pop up. And there you can hit subscribe, and you can like and comment positively, and share with positively everyone you do or don't know. This show, yes, spread it like a disease. Let it infect the minds of all so that I may rule the world, much like Lelouch Lamperouche Zero. Oh yeah, I've been watching this show called Code Geass. It's an anime. It's very good. I discovered it because I was looking up shows like Death Note because I love Death Note. And Code Geass kept popping up again and again and again. If you like Death Note, then watch Code Geass. It's about power, but it's about so much more. And, the dialogue is a little awkward sometimes. I think that's the case for a lot of anime. Like sometimes the translation will be so acutely off, like even the twist of a little phrase is turned weird. And I understand that they're trying to translate from Japanese while also lining up with the mouth movements of the characters on screen. But even with those two things in consideration, the translators will still, in dubbed versions, still have just the most awkward, unnatural phrasing that, if they were to go with a natural, normal phrasing of like a typical idiom, it would not mess up the syncing up with the mouth movements at all. So I don't know what the deal is. I've probably spoken about this before, but the dub on Code Geass, I'm watching it dubbed. It's not that bad. Not that bad. Some pretty good voice acting. Plus, I've got Stephen Blum, the voice of Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. He's in it. He was in one of the Yakuza games too. He was a gangster running an arcade. But yeah, I've been watching Code Geass, and it is so well written. Oh my God. Every episode, you learn something new happens. There's at least one pretty substantial new development in every single episode. And I say it's a really good study on good writing. Some awkward dialogue aside, some, fan service stuff aside, the way the show is fed to the audience is really good. They will introduce new characters, and it's not like they just dump so many characters on you all at once. A new character will pop up only when really necessary, and it's drip fed in at such a what's the word I'm looking for? An intentional, decisive rate that you're not lost on, wait, who the fuck is this person? What are they on about? No, it's fed at the right amount at the right time so that you're used to and familiar with and can recognize all the characters heretofore. And then now yet another new character, I should say, gets introduced, and you're not lost. You're not necessarily like, they said who this is, but I can't remember. You don't have that problem with this writing. And like I said, there's a new development and or new discovery in every single episode. Plus, things go sideways all the time. So the way the story is fed, it's not like this happens and then this happens and then this happens. No, because that's bad storytelling. The Matt Stone and Trey Parker said it most succinctly. Don't do the then and then and then. If you do that, you're setting yourself up for a shitty story. A good story goes, but therefore. So someone does something, but something else happens. Therefore, this happens. But then this happens. So therefore, this happens. They do this, therefore this, but this, that sort of thing. Something always goes sideways with the plans. And that's what keeps you hooked and engaged. And it takes the story in directions that don't bore you. Code Geass. Check it out. Excuse me. I need to whet my whistle. Enough preamble. Let me whet my whistle. Let me cool my throat. And then we will get into some old insults. Be right back. All right, blockheads. Are you ready? We're going to start with this one on jotjotboom.com. The title of this article is Best Old English Insults to Give a Sick Burn. Now, a lot of these say Old English, but this is not in Old English. These are not Beowulf era insults. So, lowercase o, old, not uppercase. No E at the end. Old English insults. It starts. I'm a big fan of swearing. Any new and inventive way to insult someone is hungrily snatched up and deployed with enthusiasm. So I thought, hey, why not delve into the past and dig up some antique treasures? No one knows how to bite a thumb at some poor unsuspecting mug like ye old Brits. Am I right? They really do have a wonderful handle on insulting people, even to this day. So, starting off at number 1, mooncalf. Mooncalf, like a, hopefully not the part of the leg, but a small cow, baby cow, a mooncalf. That is the great thing about mooncalf is its cuteness. Someone may actually be lulled into believing you've given them a sweet nickname when in actual fact you've called them a fickle and unstable person. Yeah, so if you know someone who's a flake, who makes poor choices constantly, you can call them a mooncalf. And that'll shut them up real quick because those people usually tend to talk without pause and don't listen. But if you call them a mooncalf, that may cause them pause, at which case you can unleash these subsequent insults like number 2, a blowsabella, Blowsa, Bella, Bella. Ooh, now we're getting down to it. I need to blow my nose. This is a spitefully gendered insult reserved for women who have disheveled hair, which is me, but like on purpose. Blowsabella. So if you know a mooncalf who's flitting hither and thither at such a rate that her hair becomes disheveled, you may call her a blowsabella mooncalf. Or if you know someone who's a bit, on the clumsy side, you could call them a golumpus. Golumpus. What a great golumpus he was. This little gem comes to us from the early 1800s and describes a large, clumsy fellow. This could be where the term galumph comes from, possibly. I like to think so. Golumpus. I think of like a galoot, like a huge galoot, a hairy knuckle dragging golumpus. Oh yeah, there you go. Christ, what was the word they used for Polish people? And I can say that because I'm a quarter Polish and white. There was a derogatory term they had for Polish people in Ren and Stimpy. Now, Polish jokes are quite funny. I'm recalling a few that come to mind. Not a galoot, not a golumpus. Yeah, there's some derogatory term they use for Polish people on Ren and Stimpy from the 90s. Yeah, I that was like one of my favorite shows. That was one of the most formative pieces of media to create the core, the foundation of who I am and who I will continue to be until my dying breath. Supposing I have one. Yes, Ren and Stimpy. If you want to get a gauge on who the hell I am, consume old 90s Ren and Stimpy. It is disturbing and twisted and insane, just like me. On to number 4, Grumbletonian. Not to be confused with Emersonian mind, which what the fuck does Emersonian mean? Grumbletonian. I think we all know a Grumbletonian, snatched from the late 17th century politics. This venomous insult means precisely what you think it does. A Grumbletonian is someone who can't help but complain, no matter how good they've got it. Oh, I've known too many Grumbletonians, and they're always annoying, especially if you're stuck as a roommate with one. You're financially stuck with a Grumbletonian. It really drags everything down. It's no fun. It's no fun. And it may suck so much life out of you that you end up looking like Death's head upon a mop stick. If I ever start a band, now I'm reading the article again. If I ever start a band, this is what I'd call it. This phrase comes from the 1811 dictionary of the vulgar tongue by Francis Gross, the same book as Golumpus, in fact. It's used to describe someone who is emaciated and skeletal, which, when you think about it, is mostly very sad, despite the fun turn of phrase. Death's head upon a mop stick. Moving on, we've got a tatterdemalion. Tatterdemalion. Well, let's see. If you don't know what a word means, if you encounter a word you've not seen before, you can likely figure it out without having to open a dictionary. What you do is you break it down into pieces. Some pieces may be a whole word, like tatter. Tatter means to shred or to fall apart, breaking into pieces. Tatter. Demalion. Not sure what that is. Demalion. Seems French to me. But even when you're breaking a single word into separate pieces, there may be parts you recognize, like Ion, I-O-N. That would mean having the essence of or the likeness of something. Like a Bostonian, Ian, someone from Boston, or a person from Boston. So a tatterdemalion, we're not sure what demalion means, but we know what tatter means. And Ion, I-O-N, means a person with tatter. So let's see what they say here. Tatterdemalion. This insult sounds exactly what it is. Someone dressed in tattered clothing. Kind of funny when you think about how fancy the insult itself is. Makes being ragged sound super stylish. So, that tatterdemalion looks like death's head upon a mop stick, and don't dare get into conversation with that Grumbletonian. They're a great galumpus when it comes to positivity. Moving on. Number 7, afternoon farmer. Okay, not gonna lie, guys. I'm legit gonna use this in my everyday life. It's just too good not to. Afternoon farmer is used to insult lazy people, those who don't rise and grind at 5 a.m., for example. That's not good. Don't do that. Rise and grind at 5 a.m. That's capitalist propaganda. It's bullshit. Rise and grind. That's bullshit. It's inhuman. It's inhumane. It's unsustainable. Okay? And don't believe all the wannabe influencers trying to push that productivity bullshit on you. It's all a lie to increase the shareholder value. Down with them. Anyway, even if you lived in a collectivist egalitarian commune, a commune, maybe you still don't want to be an afternoon farmer because we all work together communally. And so we want to make sure you're healthy and well rested and in good spirits. But also, if you get into the habit of being an afternoon farmer, maybe there's something else going on. Onward, number 8. I like this one, cow-handed. Since we're on the topic of farms, here's cow-handed. Use this insult on anyone who's awkward, which in this anti-social day and age is basically everyone. Cow-handed. So is that like ham-fisted? We've got animal manos. Mano y mano. Cow-handed, not too far off from ham-fisted, but somewhat similar. And then coming in at number 9, minikin. I've heard this one before, minikin. This is a delightful insult for the... Oh, mini-kin. It's a small kid. Minikin or minikin. A delightful insult for the vertically challenged. As the tallest woman in a family of minikins, I plan on using this insult little and often. Minikin. Short people. Let me get a sip of coffee, pull up another list, and I'll be right back. We're moving on to a website called mentalfloss.com. I've known about them for quite a while. They've got a lot of pretty interesting articles on mentalfloss.com. This one, published in 2023, is titled 43 Old English Insults. And again, this isn't Beowulf old, but old compared to us. So let's see here. Besides being the greatest writer in the history of the English language, Billy Shakes, that's my friend William Shakespeare, was the master of the pithy put-down. So the nervous servant who tells Macbeth his castle is under attack is dismissed as a cream-faced loon. Oswald in King Lear isn't just a useful idiot, he's a whoreson Zed. An unnecessary letter. Ooh, an unnecessary letter. Lear's ungrateful daughter, Goneril, is a plague sore, an embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood. And when Falstaff doubts something Mistress Quickly has said in Henry IV, Part 1, he claims, "There's no more faith in thee than in a stewed prune." And there's a good chance he didn't intend stewed prune to mean dried fruit. But you don't have to rely just on Shakespeare to spice up your vocabulary. Next time someone winds you up or you need to win an argument in fine style, why not try dropping one of these old-fashioned insults into your conversation? Number 1, bed swerver. What the fuck is a bed swerver? It's an adulterer. This appears to be another of Shakespeare's inventions that became popular in Victorian slang. So, if you know a slag, slap some Victorian slang on the conversation by calling them a bed swerver. Number 2, bobolin. This is an old Tudor word for a fool that was coined by the 15th to 16th century poet John Skelton, one of Henry VIII's school teachers, a bobolin, not Anne Bobolin. Number 3, I've heard this one before. It's fun. Cumberworld. A cumberworld, also called a cumberground, is someone who is so useless they just serve to take up space. Oh, a cumberworld? Oh, because they are cumbersome to the world. They drag everything down. You cumberworld, you're taking up space. You're a waste of space. You're a cumberworld. Number 4 and 5. Okay, here we go. Dalcup and haircup. Is it cop or cup? Haircup. Dalcup and haircup. Cup is, I'm balancing between cop and cup. Cup is an old word for the head. Making a dalcup, literally a dull head, a particularly stupid person. You can also be a haircup or a harebrained person. So, dull cup. Dull person, dull head, harebrained. Okay, yeah. Number 6, this is an interesting one. Abydocomist. 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 Abydos was a city in ancient Egypt whose inhabitants, according to one 19th century dictionary, were famous for inventing slanders and boasting of them. Whether that's true or not, the name Abydos is the origin of a abidocomist, or a liar who brags about their lies. Used in a sentence, Donald Trump is one of the biggest abidocomists the modern world has ever seen. Hugely abidocomistic. Donald Trump is the biggest, the best. No one's ever been as big of an abidocomist as him. Onward to number 7. Doorbell. Not to be confused with doorbell. Doorbell. D-O-R-B-E-L. That's fun. Oh, that's a doorbell. As well as being another name for a nincompoop, a doorbell is a petty, nitpicking teacher. Oh, it's those asshole teachers. It's derived from the name of an old French scholar. Oh, don't be the kind of person who is known by history by having your name coined into an insult word, okay? Such as this, doorbell, derived from the name of an old French scholar named Nicolas de Orbelly, who was well known as a supporter of the much derided philosopher John Duns Scotus, whose followers were the original dunces. John Duns Scotus. Dunces. Ah, wow. We got two names coined into, not great words to be called or referred to as. Number 8, Dratepoke, not Drake, Dratepoke, an old English dialect word for someone who drawls or speaks indistinctly, a Dratepoke. So the low talker in Seinfeld, or just someone who mumbles or does not dictate enough for anyone to understand what the fuck they're saying, that person is a Dratepoke. Number 9. Driggle-draggle. That's a funny word. Driggle-draggle. An untidy woman. What was the other word? Driggle-draggle. A blowzabella. She is a blowzabella and a tatterdemalion driggle-draggle. Oh. Number 10. These fucking words. Number 10. Fopdoodle. I want to use this one. Fopdoodle. An insignificant or foolish man. A fopdoodle. Number 11. Besprawler. To besprawl. Oh. It doesn't mean to sprawl out. To besprawl means to spit or dribble or drool. So, a besprawler is a slobbering person who spits when he talks. Number 12. Fustalugs? Fustalugs? According to the Oxford English Dictionary, OED for the real heads, this term for, quote, a woman of gross or corpulent habit, unquote, is derived from fusty, in the sense of something that's gone off or gone stale. So, musty, fusty, fustalugs. Okay. Number 13, fustularian. Okay. Another of Shakespeare's best put-downs coined in Henry IV Part 2. Away, you scullion, you rampallion, you fustularian, I'll tickle your catastrophe, Falstaff exclaims. If not just a variation of fustalugs, he likely meant it to mean someone who stubbornly wastes time on worthless things. Number 14, gillywetfoot. Gillywetfoot, an old Scots word for a swindling businessman or someone who gets into debts and then flees. A gillywetfoot. Okay. Number 15, nashgab. I've heard this one, a nashgab, an 18th century Northern English word for someone who only ever seems to complain. A nashgab. So to gab means to talk. To gnash means to gnash their teeth. A nashgab. Number 16, dew-beater. An 18th century word for an especially large shoe and consequently a clumsy or awkward person. Number 17, gobermouch. Gobermouch? An old Irish word for a nosy, prying person who likes to interfere in other people's business. Okay. Number 18, what is this? Gaupen full of anything? Gaupen? Gaupen full of anything? A gaupen or gopen is the bowl formed by cupping your hands together, while a gulpin full of anything is a contemptuous term applied to one who is a medley of everything absurd, according to the English Dialect Dictionary. Gulpin full of anything. Okay. Number 19, leasing monger. Let's see. A leasing monger sounds like a landlord. A leasing is an old word for an untruth or falsehood. Making a or a leasing maker a liar. A leasing monger. So leasing, old word for untruth or falsehood. So a lease, a lot of words tie into cultural, which then tie into socioeconomic conditions. That's where a lot of words come from. So leasing in this term, an untruth or a falsehood, you lease your home, you lease your apartment, you lease an item from a lender. And the lease is associated with a lie. Interesting. Number 20, a clazomaniac, someone who only seems to be able to speak by shouting. Clazomaniac. There's a lot more to get through here, so I'm just going to skip through some that jump out to me because we're getting on with this episode here. It's getting a little long. This one jumps out. What the fuck how do you say this? Scobberlotcher. Probably derived from Scopperloit. Loit. That's French. Scopperloit. An Old English dialect word for a vacation or a break from work. A scobberlotcher is someone who never works hard. I think I've heard this one before. Saddle goose. Saddling geese is a proverbially pointless exercise, so anyone who wastes their time doing it, namely a saddle goose, must be an imbecile. Ooh, smell feast. Someone who okay. I was thinking it was going to be someone who is stinky. No, a smell feast is someone who turns up uninvited at a meal or a party and expects to be fed. I think Kramer could be a smell feast. What is this one? A smell fungus. When Lawrence Sterne, author of The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, met the Scottish writer Tobias Smollett, author of The Adventures of Peregrine Pickle, in Italy in 1764, he was amazed by how critical Smollett was of all the places he had visited. Smollett returned home and published his Travels Through France and Italy in 1766, and in response, Sterne published his Sentimental Journey Through France and Italy 2 years later. Part novel, part travelogue, Sterne's book featured a grumblingly quarrelsome character called Smell Fungus, who was modeled on Smollett. The name soon came to be used of any buzz-killing fault finder, or a Buzz Killington, if you will, and in particular, someone who always finds fault in the places they visit. Snout band. Someone who constantly interrupts a conversation, typically only to contradict or correct someone else. So all those fucking Turning Point USA debate bros, they're snout bands. Debate me, bro. Debate me, bro. Anyway, that's it. I'm done with this episode. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you've learned some new words that you can use in your daily vernacular. Add it to the words you have equipped in your bat belt to insult people too dense to understand that they've been insulted. If you're not already, become a patron at patreon.com so you can see this week's bonus episode, which I'm going to record right after I finish this episode and charge the camera a bit more. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you had fun, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye.